sunshines, or hey pumpkins, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I am so glad you're here. So on my channel, I predominantly do unboxings and a lot of fashion content, but occasionally I will order a meal delivery kit and cook them and give you my review. I had an overwhelming amount of requests to do a crock pot meal delivery service, and I found one. I did a video on what a crock 6 or 8 weeks ago, and you guys loved it. I loved it too, spoiler alert. And so I thought I would bring it back and try some of their new fall meals. Now, what I didn't know when I was filming that video is not only do they do crock pot meals, but they also do instant pot meals. And I discovered this in the middle of that video. If you forget to put your meal in the crock pot in the morning, normally you'd kind of be in trouble, but they have a quick cook technique where you just do it on the stove. How brilliant is that? So I thought it would be fun to sort of feature their fall menu and cook 3 different meals in 3 different ways. So we're gonna do a pressure cooker one, a crock pot one, and a quick cook one. Now what I love about this subscription is, and I do a lot of meal delivery kits, is everything comes frozen. So it's all on dry ice. And the reason that I like that one so much is a lot of the fresh meal delivery kits are fabulous, but you have to cook them really quickly. So if you get invited out at the last minute to dinner, or you just don't have time to make that meal, the ingredients do go bad. So I like that you literally take everything out of the box and just put it in your freezer until you're ready to cook it. Now the portions are big with this company. Each portion is 1.5 to 2 pounds. So I also like the fact that if you have 2 smaller kids, or sometimes I'll share a portion with my daughter, you don't need an actual, for a family of 4, maybe 4 portions. Maybe you can take it down to 2 or 3. So today we are going to do the Instant Pot or pressure cooker meal. Apple cider chicken right here to share with you. It has got caramelized onions, it has got apples, and just a little bit of apple cider to give it that extra yummy flavor. It also comes with rice. So we're actually gonna do the rice in the quick cooker method on the stove. You're just gonna boil it. And the apple cider chicken, we are going to put in the crock pot on the meat stew setting. We're gonna seal it and cook it for about 22 minutes and then let it do a natural release. And then we're gonna check it out and we're gonna see what it's all about. So let me get it in the crock pot and then I'll give you a closer look so you can see what it looks like when it's all open. Hang on. So here is what it looks like. This is plenty for a family of 4, and you can see the big chunks of apple down in there and the sauce. So I'm gonna get this started and I will be right back while it's cooking. All right, so while everything is cooking, I thought I would come on and share a little bit more about what a crock. I do have the rice on to boil, and then I chopped up a couple of green peppers. My husband's diabetic, so he can't eat the rice. So I just chopped up some green peppers, sprinkled some salt and pepper and a little bit of olive oil on them, and I'm roasting them in the oven for him. Plus a green vegetable is never a bad thing, right? So What a Crock is a small family-owned business. It's a husband and wife. They have 2 locations in Pennsylvania, so if you live near those, you can just bebop in and pick out the meals that you want. They have real life chefs that come in and make the meals every morning, and they're so good. Like I said, the menus are always changing, and I'm going to be featuring some of the fall meals. You guys, I have a yummy dessert, I have a comforting stew coming up, I have a side that's going to blow my personal mind, hopefully yours too. So you're definitely going to stay till the end of this video. Because they're a small business and the price of shipping is astronomical, they're doing their best to give you a little bit of a break. So if you spend $40, you get a discounted shipping rate, and if you spend $99, you get free shipping. Now, just a thought, if you're like, I'm not sure I want to commit to $99, maybe go in with your mom or your sister or your neighbor. You could each pick a couple of meals and then have them shipped to save that shipping. I don't know, just a thought. They do give me a 15% discount, and full disclosure, they did send these meals to me for review. So I'm going to give you my true and honest opinion of them all. I really like the fact that you can do some in the crock pot, because like I said, I didn't know that in the first video. So when you're searching through the menu, and by the way, they have vegetarian options, they have seafood, they have meat, pork, chicken, kind of any kind of meal you can think of. You can actually get sauce and cookies and all kinds of sides. Their Philly cheesesteak dip is mind-blowingly good. I highly suggest that if you're having people over for the holidays to grab one of those. But what I really like is that there's such a variety. But when you're going through the menu, just go ahead and click on the item that you're looking at and it will tell you if it's Instant Pot friendly or not and give you all of the directions. So it's as simple as that. All right, things are starting to smell really good. We've got about 15 more minutes. I will come back with the finished product and show you what it looks like and give you my taste test. Okay, first I want to say before I try this that I have a little bit of a cold. It went from like 86 degrees to like 42 degrees in just like 12 hours a couple of days ago. And I feel like it always triggers me to get a little bit of a cold. So I'm looking for something comforting, and this has made my house smell so good. You've got the little bit of apple. Look at the chunk of apple there. Oh my goodness. You've got the rice, but the chicken, it just smells like you've cooked the chicken all day long, like you're making the best chicken stew. It's so tender. The rice was really easy to just boil on the stove. And honestly, by the time this was ready, so was the rice. So everything was timed perfectly. My husband is circling. He is so hungry. He's like, can you hurry up and film that? So like I said, the chicken is really, really tender. So I'm trying to get a little bit of chicken, a little bit of the apple, and a little bit of the rice. I tried to let it cool down just for a minute, but let's dive in. Oh my goodness. The baked apple in here just makes it. It gives it that extra little bit of sweetness, and the tender, juicy chicken just adds to the flavor. There's a little bit of sauce down in the pot that I just put over the rice. Here's another piece of apple. I don't usually cook apples with chicken. I always think pork chops. This is a good combo. It's got some caramelized onion, and it has just a hint, I think, of maybe cinnamon, something just a little bit sweet, which would make sense with the apple. I think this is my favorite meal I've tried from What a Crock yet. This is one of their fall limited edition meals. My whole family is going to go gaga for this. I will tell you tomorrow when I start the crock pot meal if there was enough or if there was too much, so you know a portion size to purchase. And with What a Crock, the portions come pretty big, but you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, as many portions as you want. You don't have to get, like with a standard meal delivery kit, a lot of times you have to get 2 or 4, or if you need 3 or 5, you're not able to do that. So I like that they give you the option of choosing the exact amount of portions you want. So I will tell you how this did yesterday, what my family thought, if you need to buy more or less when I start the crock pot meal tomorrow. Oh, I'm gonna dive in. All right, we're back for day 2 of cooking my What a Crock meals. I've pulled out my handy dandy crock pot for today's video, and we are going to be making brisket fajitas. It's brisket with onions and peppers, and y'all, this is 1 serving. I did put it in a pot with just some cold water just to kind of loosen everything up so it'd be easy to put into the crock pot. But before we get into this meal, let's talk about last night's meal. Holy cow. I think that's my favorite What a Crock meal that I've had so far. It is just comfort on a plate. It felt like the perfect fall cozy meal. Like I said, it had a little bit of cinnamon, I think, in it, and it had those yummy apples, and we devoured it. But even with everybody getting as much as they wanted, we have like probably this much in a Tupperware to eat today for lunch. So that's what my husband and I are gonna eat. So if you like leftovers like we do, get your normal size. If you don't want any leftovers, maybe get 1 portion less. Each bag or each portion had 2 chicken thighs in it, as well as the apples and the caramelized onion and all of that. So we're gonna talk about the brisket. The brisket also comes with rice today, and as a little treat, they sent me one of their sides. I actually asked them if they would, if I'm being completely honest, because I saw the side when I was looking at doing the video the first time, and it just sounded so good. I haven't been able to get it off my mind. This is their maple bacon mac and cheese. So I'm gonna serve this as a side for me and my kids. Obviously my husband can't have it, but there is onions and peppers in here, so we'll be good to go. I probably will just get a bag of salad, like go the really easy way, because that's what the crock pot's all about, and serve this all with the salad. But that is what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna put these 4 portions in the crock pot. I'm actually going to put this mac and cheese back into the freezer. There's a couple ways that you can do this. You can do a boiling bag, which is what I did with the rice yesterday. You just boil a pot of water and pop this right down in there, or you can actually microwave it. So this is going to be really easy to do right as everything is finishing up. So let me go ahead and put this in, and I will tell you what I see as I open it. Hang on. I wanted to give you a quick look at what it looks like before we cook. You can see the big pieces of green pepper and onion in there, and it's nice and full. You can smell the yummy fajita seasoning. It smells like it's seasoned really well. Yeah, I am sorry for my neighbor who is blowing his leaves. It's real life here at the Georgia channel. I film in real time in not perfect conditions sometimes. Anyway, if the scent of that is even half as good when it's finished cooking, I'm super excited, because you can smell those really good fajita seasonings. Now, I think I did tell you, I put everything down about an hour ago into a pot of like room temperature water and let them sit for about an hour, and that way everything loosened up. It wasn't completely and totally thawed, but probably 75% of the way, and it was just easy to dump it right into the crock pot. So I'm gonna put it on low for 6 hours. You could obviously turn it up just a little bit and do it a slower or a shorter cooking time, but low and slow, in my opinion, is the way to go. So I will be back in 6 hours to show you the finished product. Like I said, before I get on, I'm just gonna put this probably in the microwave, since it says that I can do that, and have that ready too, so we can try everything all at once. Stay tuned. I can't wait for this. All right, you guys, our brisket fajitas are done. You could totally serve this over rice, which is what I did. This meal does come with rice. I just dumped it in a pot of boiling water, and I also just threw the maple bacon mac and cheese in there with that, so it all kind of cooked together. Now, tomorrow's meal, I'm gonna be doing the quick cook method, and it is the ultimate fall dish. It's probably the dish I'm the most excited about. But let me tell you, I always talk about the way things make my house smell. I think one of my favorite memories, or my most vivid memories as a child, is coming home from school or from gymnastics or whatever, and just smelling what my mom was cooking. She was such a good cook. And so when you smell those yummy scents coming from the kitchen, it just reminds me of home. This smells so good. My husband came down the stairs like 30 minutes ago, and he's like, "Is that ready yet?" Because dying, you are driving me crazy. So here is my brisket. There are huge, this is gonna make my husband so happy, because pretty much every meal he cuts up an onion and wants it eaten. So there's nice big slices of this fabulous onion. There are peppers in here, and look at the chunks of brisket, you guys. They are nice and big. Here's some pepper down in here. I have the camera up a little high. And then this is the maple bacon mac and cheese. Let's just go for that first. Let's just see what we think. Hold on. Should we? Taking one for the team, you guys. Yeah, get this. Get you this. Oh my goodness. That is killer mac and cheese. I can't stop eating it. Okay, that is fabulous. I'm spoiled. I want to try the fajitas, but I want to keep eating this. I will wait. Let's go ahead and take a bite of the brisket. I'm going to get a piece of onion and a piece of meat and some of the rice. The seasoning on this dish is spot on. They are flavorful. They have just a tiny hint of heat on your tongue, and I am a wimp. So if I can handle it and think it's just a little bit, you are going to be able to handle it too, and so I believe are your kids. If not, you could put a little sour cream on it to cool it down. But I think it's actually the perfect amount of spices. Oh my goodness, that onion. I secretly really love onion too. It's so good. I'll take another bite here. I don't know if it's showing in the camera how hot this is. Get this one too if you order. It is so good. Y'all, there's so much of this in the crock pot too for a family of 4. So I'll let you know again tomorrow if we had any left, if it was enough, what my family thought about it. Let me tell you, they would have licked the pot clean from that chicken yesterday. And I think they're gonna love this too. So stay tuned. Tomorrow we're gonna do the quick cook method and cook another meal and a dessert. Can't wait for that one. So I hope you're liking these so far, and I'll see you. For you, it's like 5 seconds. For me, it's tomorrow. All right, so we're back with day 3 of cooking. Before I tell you what we're gonna eat today, I thought we'd recap that incredibly amazing fajita brisket. It's the stuff dreams were made out of. Honestly, it was seasoned perfectly. It was not too spicy, but it had enough like nice flavor. It wasn't bland at all. The big, huge chunks of meat were incredible. It had great big pieces of the peppers and the onions. It was perfect. And honestly, that mac and cheese I keep thinking about. That container, I'm not sure how many portions were in there, but I had a scoop. My daughter and my son had good portions of it, and we ate it with no problem. So I would say at least 3 portions. It may be 4. The kids had bigger portions than I did, just because we had served it with rice. I was trying to be careful, so kind of gauge it that way. And then we did have extra of the brisket. We had enough for my husband and myself to have lunch the next day. So I feel like, you know, if you have 2 little people or some people that maybe eat a little bit less, you may be able, by little people I mean your children, you may be able to go down 1 serving size. Are you ready for today's menu? This is a turkey and sweet potato stew. Does that not sound like Thanksgiving on a plate? I'm so excited for this one. I love a stew, a soup, anything you put down in a pot and have it all together. It's just like the perfect comforting meal. We have a storm about to come through and our temperatures are gonna drop like 40 degrees. So this seemed like the absolute perfect meal to cook tonight. So just FYI, this is 1 portion of stew. Again, the portions are huge. You can see carrots. Well, that's probably sweet potatoes, not carrots. And all kinds of good veggies. And they did say to thaw this, and I'm gonna do the quick cook method. All we're gonna do is just cut this open, dump it in the pot, and we're going to simmer it for about an hour. And that is it. So if you're running home from work, you can just drop it in before you go upstairs to change your clothes. And by the time you've gotten everybody through their homework and stuff, your dinner will be ready. Now, you're gonna wanna stay tuned till tomorrow because I have 2 other fun things to share with you. I got a dip and a dessert. I thought we were gonna cook the dessert tonight, but I thought that maybe it would go tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. But I'm gonna go ahead and put this in. I'll show you what it looks like as it cooks, and then we'll be back for the thing that really matters, the taste test. Guys, I dropped this in my big Pioneer Woman Dutch oven. I got this, I think I hauled it in a Walmart haul last year. I highly recommend it. I'll link it below. But here's the stew. There is a ton. This is way more than 4 portions for a family. Look how big this chunk of turkey is. And then it looks like there's sweet potatoes, there's peas. I think there's cranberries in here. Oh my gosh. And it looks like a little bit of corn. This looks incredible. All right, so I'm back. I have to say, I don't personally think it took an hour to heat everything through and get it nice and warm. And I did notice when it was in the pot that there's actually green beans in here too. Now, this is like Thanksgiving on a plate. Sweet potatoes, green beans, big chunks of chicken, cranberry. I was thinking as I was spooning this onto my plate that I would love to make, don't judge, okay? Because we're thinking quick. A thing of stovetop and just put a scoop of stuffing on my plate and then pour this on top, because I feel like that's the only thing missing from the Thanksgiving dinner. It smells so good. It smells like it's cooked all day. It does not smell like it was just cooked for like 45 minutes. So really, really yummy. It's got this great turkey gravy. And then look at the chunks of turkey. Look at that chunk of turkey. They're so big. Let's see if I can cool this down just enough. I tried to get a little bit of everything on the bite. That turkey is so tender. I got a little bite of cranberry. I think even if you're not a cranberry fan, you're gonna really like this. It just adds that barely touch of sweetness. It's sort of like the inside of a pot pie, but with the flavors of Thanksgiving. This is gonna be a good one. And y'all, this pot is like 3/4 of the way full. There is no way my family of 4 is gonna be able to eat all of this in one day. So I do feel like this is gonna last. And the last time that I did a video, we made like a chicken pot pie stew, and that lasted us 2 extra lunches. So I feel like that's what's gonna happen with this one. Oh my gosh, I have to have another bite. What I noticed too with this is that the vegetables just have a tiny bit of crunch to them. They're not like super soggy, like the green beans have a little bit of crunch still, which is nice. It gives you an extra texture. So this is definitely a winner. I will let you know what my family thought about this one. And then stay tuned because I have a dessert, an appetizer, and perhaps one more meal. We will see. Hang on. All right, there's a little bit of a change of plans with today's video. When I was talking with What a Crock a couple of weeks ago about doing this video, I mentioned that I really wanted to try their steak taco stuffed peppers. Does that not sound incredible? And they said, gosh, you know, that's a limited edition item. I don't know if it's going to be around when your video comes up, but I just checked and it's still on their website. So they had sent me some just to try as a thank you, which was so nice, but I figured I'm just gonna go ahead and cook it. And that way, if you guys wanna try it, you can snap them hopefully before they're gone, if we like them. So they're huge, you guys. This is one stuffed pepper. Is that not incredible? So I just put them down in a little bit of cold water just to loosen them up. And then I'm going to put them down in the crock pot. They say 4 to 6 hours, closer to 6 is better. It's about 12:30, so we'll eat about 6:30. I will open these, put them in the crock pot in just a minute and show you what they look like. But Dawson had like an extra long day today. He had to go to school early because he was sick last week. He had that same cold that I did. And he missed a couple of like tests and quizzes. So he went in early today. It was an extra long day. So I figured I would do a little treat for him when he came home. So I have one of their dips. This is the buffalo chicken dip. Now let the record state that they sent me their Philly cheesesteak dip to try in my last video. And I don't think they can top that. That dip is the stuff that dreams are made out of. You could taste the onions, the peppers, the cheese, the steak. It is killer. But I'm gonna take the challenge and try their buffalo chicken dip. So I have some pita crackers, some bread, and just some celery. And I thought I would go ahead and make this and then it would be ready when Dawson came home. So this actually can just do a quick cook method where you just drop it in some warm water and let it cook for 15 or 20 minutes and it will be good to go. So let me put the peppers in, show you what that looks like, and I'll be right back. Hang on. All right, you guys, it is kind of dark down in this crock pot, but look how big these are. That's 4, and I had to stack this one on top. It looks like it's got some corn and some black beans. You can see the steak, and there's big, yummy green peppers. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the lid on, and I'm gonna turn it to low, and we're gonna let that cook for a little while. And then when I come back to show you the buffalo chicken dip, I will talk more about the turkey stew that we ate yesterday. Let's talk about this buffalo chicken dip. So I went a little rogue and cut it out of the plastic and just dumped it into a pot. Right here, this pot was full. There's a lot of dip in there. And just let it cook for 20 minutes. That worked perfectly. And then we started the experimentation process. We tried it with celery, which was my personal favorite way and also diabetic friendly for my husband. And then we tried it with pretzels, which I thought was pretty good. We tried it with pita crackers. Okay, and then my son pulled out the Frito scoops. Those were really, really good. Now, the reason that I gravitated more toward the celery is this is buffalo chicken dip and it lives up to its name. It's got some spice to it. It's not overly spicy, but the celery definitely helped to tame it down. Now, what was funny was my son kept coming in the kitchen, and finally I said, get a little bowl and then you can take it to your room. Well, after my husband entered the kitchen the third time, I said the same thing to him. Get a little bowl, take it upstairs to your office. He was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not lying to you. He must have come up and down the stairs at least 10 times to get more of it. I was like, babe, just put it in a bowl. He's like, no, it's so good, but I need the steps to counteract it. It's really good. Now, I will say, I personally like the Philly cheesesteak dip just a little bit better, but my boys would solidly disagree. They liked the buffalo chicken dip. So I think no matter what, you can't go wrong. And if you've got a great holiday celebration, a crowd pleaser, a football game, a baseball game, something that you're hosting, I think that would make a great addition to your table. Okay, I didn't talk about the turkey sweet potato stew yesterday. So Dawson does not like sweet potatoes. I don't know why, they're so good. And so when he saw the stew, he was like, kind of gave it a look, and I said, it really doesn't, you don't taste the sweet potatoes, just try it. So he did, and he's like, Mom, this is really good, and he ended up eating a bowl. So I was really excited. Now, all of the flavors are the flavors of Thanksgiving on the plate, but I would never have put those particular flavors together into a stew. It was almost like a chicken pot pie without the breading. And had I made it homemade and they said put the cranberries in it, I would have skipped it. The cranberries actually made it. They gave it a little sweetness, a little tartness. It had corn, it had green beans. The vegetables were just a tiny bit crispy, not the sweet potatoes. They were nice and soft, but like the corn and the green beans and things were just a little bit crispy. It was good. And I liked it better than like a chicken pot pie. Something about the turkey with the turkey gravy was just perfect. It was lovely. Y'all, that made so much stew though. We probably have enough for at least 3 people to have another meal. So if you're thinking about getting that one, I would say go one less portion unless you want leftovers for lunch, which we're big leftover people. So that actually worked out, but I really did like that one. Now, I just pulled out the steak taco pepper. Can you see how big this is? This is one serving. You kind of see the pepper kind of under all the goodness. Now, there is beans, there is corn, there is rice, there is steak. I went ahead and just cut a piece so it would be easier to kind of do a taste test. So I'm gonna try and get as many flavors as I can into this one bite. But can you see it? This portion is huge. This did not take me 6 hours to cook either. Probably about 5 o'clock, I just turned off my crock pot because it looked like it was done, and then I just let it sit. Well, that's really good. That's really different. I like it with the steak. Now, I will say I can feel the heat on this. I can feel it on the back of my tongue. This is a little bit on the spicier side. I will probably add a scoop of sour cream just to cool it off just a little bit. But it's nice with kind of the sweetness of the pepper and then the corn. This is very different. It's not like anything I've ever tasted before in a good way. But man, I can definitely taste the heat down the side of my tongue. I like this, but I'm gonna put some sour cream with it. The boys are going to go nuts. I think my husband's gonna have just a smaller portion because it has rice in it and kind of avoid the corn. But I think they're both gonna really, really like this. This is good. All right, so we're gonna finish off the video tomorrow with a dessert. What's a more fitting way to finish a video than with dessert, right? All right, so let's dive into what is the last cooking session of this video. I'm gonna be making What a Crock's apple Cinnamazing. If you look at the description box, it says this is apples, cinnamon, and brown sugar baked into a moist vanilla cake. First of all, they had me at apples and cinnamon, but then you put it in vanilla cake. I'm all about it. They also said it would be perfect with your morning coffee. Now that is a breakfast I could totally get behind. So this is what it looks like. And I did go ahead, it says partially or all the way thawed. So I think mine's pretty much all the way thawed. I will say there was so much of the chicken dip left. So if you get it, it makes a lot. I just put it in the freezer and then I'm gonna warm it up over the next couple of days and we're gonna continue to eat on it. So one portion of that, or one, however you buy it, is plenty. And then, oh my goodness, those stuffed peppers are gone. They're gone. Dawson specifically went ham on them. My husband didn't eat a lot of them because there was rice in it. Not a lot of rice. I actually thought when I saw it in the crock pot that it was going to be more rice than anything else, but it really wasn't. And the steak was kind of almost like a ground beef type steak, and then it had the great seasoning. I put a little sour cream on mine, cooled it right down with some corn and some black beans. So I would say buy the right amount for your family with that one. But I do think if you want leftovers, buy a little extra. I personally am having the chicken and sweet potato stew for lunch. I love a good leftover. So let me go ahead and just dump this in really quickly. It looks like it might have cranberries in it. And the only reason I say that is you can kind of see, which apple cranberry would be amazing. So I just want to kind of see what this texture looks like. It's like a cake batter. I will dump this in and then I will show you what it looks like in the crock pot. All right, so here is what it looks like. And I may or may not have dipped my spoon in it just to try it. And the apple taste of this is so bright and yummy, and it's sweet. So that's what the batter looks like, just a nice thick cake batter. We're gonna cook this on low. It says 4 to 6 hours. Usually my crock pot is right in the middle of their recommendations. So I will be back in 5 hours to check it out. I did want to say, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, I would love to have you as part of my Georgia Sunshine family. I always keep everything really positive. I do unboxings and fashion with a little lifestyle thrown in. So if that's your jam, you are going to love this channel. I actually moved the crock pot over here because I was filming some stuff for Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, specifically my Instagram stories, I post every day, just lifestyle things. Today I talked about these crackers, showed my tiered tray, reviewed a Dollar Tree candle that was in my last haul. A lot of you were interested in. So go give me a follow over on Instagram. And now let's try this dessert. So I pulled out the Ready Whip because why not, right? I never ever thought about doing a dessert in the crock pot, but it's kind of brilliant. And here is what it looks like. It is the most yummiest smelling vanilla cake with the baked apples on top. I'm just gonna pour a little bit of this on it, just a little, but I might put a little bit more on after the video because that's the kind of girl I am. Okay, so here's what the cake looks like. Put a little whipped cream on there. I think that is a cranberry. Let's taste it and see. The cake is really, really moist. It's not like a super thick cake. It's kind of a smaller, more dense cake, which is nice. And yeah, you can taste there's a little bit of cranberry, the apple. Holy cow. Dessert in the crock pot. Who knew? Oh my gosh, that last bite had this big yummy chunk of apple and it almost dissolved in my mouth. It was so tender. This is very interesting because it has the taste of a cake, but kind of the consistency more of a cobbler. Dessert in the crock pot, who knew? I don't know if I've lived under a rock or what. I do think, because this makes a lot, if you don't eat it all, you could put this in like a Tupperware and then take it out and reheat it on a plate in the microwave. I think it would be fabulous the next day too. By the way, we had chicken dip for lunch today and I have no regrets. If you eat it on celery, do the calories really count? I'm thinking not. Anyway, I hope you guys like this video. Thank you to What a Crock for sending this over so I could film it. Don't forget to use my link for 15% off and take advantage of that reduced or free shipping. I'll see you soon for another video, guys. Bye-bye.